The fact that we have to wait 60 days before we see a significant update in the SEC versus Ripple case is one of the main topics that every XRP holder is now discussing. What if I told you, however, that this lawsuit could be dropped at any time? And that point, in my opinion, will arrive very soon. Actually, much sooner than 60 days. We will discuss that and the reasons for it. Welcome to Peepo Coin channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so by the end of this video. Let's actually discuss this a little bit. We did receive the major update on the 16th. Naturally, it wasn't what we had anticipated, and it wasn't particularly bullish. The reason for this was the granting of a joint motion. Due to their combined move to hold the appeal, the SEC is now obliged to submit a progress report within 60 days, which has been approved. The SEC governor has 60 days to submit a status report. Thus, it can be compared to a delay. In the end, though, I do believe that this matter will be resolved before the 60-day mark. And Paul Atkins is, of course, the reason I say that. In the last 24 to 28 hours, we received a significant update. Paul Atkins was sworn into office and formally began his term as SEC chairman. Now, if the entire atmosphere is okay, then you are now in favor of cryptocurrency. Change is on the horizon. We will begin to ensure that cryptocurrency is thriving in the United States. Our goal is to ensure that innovation keeps flourishing. Going forward, the SEC should start to entirely change their focus if we're all serious about that. Here are a couple quotes, though, from Paul Atkins. His first statement is that he is honored by the Senate's and President Trump's faith in him to lead the SEC. I'm excited to work alongside my fellow commissioners and the committed experts at the SEC to further the agency's goals of protecting investors, promoting capital formation, and preserving efficient, fair, and orderly markets. We will work together to make the United States the safest and best location in the world to do business and invest. We'll have to wait and see what transpires, but we do know that Brad Garlinghouse has been around since December, when we received the news that Trump had appointed Paul Atkins to be the SEC's chair. Brad Garlinghouse did comment that it was a great decision and that Paul Atkins, along with Hester Peirce and Mark Ueda, will restore common sense to the SEC. The crypto prohibition era needs to end quickly and conclusively in order to restore economic growth, creativity, and freedom of choice. Furthermore, we are aware that this was Paul Atkins' position regarding the Ripple case. XRP deserves a lot of credit for this, and you should pay great attention to it. People are encountering a brick wall at the SEC. You know, the case against Ripple is one example. Many things depend on that. It's kind of an intriguing development to see in this field. That's the main idea. That is the fundamental one. Correct. Again, we know that the Ripple case is likely one of the most significant, if not the most significant, cryptocurrency cases we are currently facing. The reason it is taking so long for this case to be dropped entirely, or for a settlement to be fully public, is because it has endured a lot and is among the first cases the SEC actually brought to this area, but we already know that a settlement has been reached. We are merely awaiting its completion, and it appears that they are attempting to prolong our wait as much as possible. Now that Paul Atkins is in charge, maybe the 60-day pause period, if you will, is lifted and we begin to see some significant progress. I wouldn't rule out the possibility that this matter could be resolved before the end of May. Since there are a lot of developments on stablecoin laws and these actions, actually help Ripple, I believe that May is a really decent time period to look forward to. And if I'm correct, a lot of what I've been saying on this channel is in line with what I've been saying because, as I mentioned before, back in 2023, when we learned that XRP was not a security, there were significant developments, such as Ripple entering the BIS. A number of significant acquisitions included Ripple. They all supported XRP's classification as a non-security and participated in similar significant proofs of concept. Thus, once more, since stablecoins are becoming more popular and stablecoin laws and such are in place, it would be entirely consistent with stable currency laws for the NMA to resolve this matter. That's my general guess, but we'll see what transpires. Aside from that, though, we also have this report from Subjective Views, and this week's SEC chair is Paul Atkins. Several rule manuals for the DTCC, the CME, and even the IC were authorized under his direct supervision. Cost-effective clearing, as well as operational adjustments for custody and clearing. Take a look. As you are aware, the SEC is probably going to have new leadership this week. Issues like the clearing rule, which have major ramifications for the swaps market, will be passed down to the next chair. Before the industry can completely implement the rule in time for the deadlines next year, which unanswered questions need the chairman's quick attention. I'll pose a kind query to you. I'm grateful, Chairman. Given his prior experience as an SEC commissioner and the support of his colleagues, we are fairly certain that Mr. Atkins will be able to get started right away. This rule is a top priority for the SEC, which will and should be able to respond to it quickly and sensibly. Our recommendation is to make a few adjustments to the SEC. To make this truly effective, there are several accounting laws and inter-affiliate rules that present challenges. My testimony contains further details that could explain that, but we need their cooperation in order to ensure that they approve the different rulebooks for the rival clearing houses, DTCC, CME, and IC. To promote and facilitate clearing, they must ensure that the remaining regulations are in place. So far, they've been excellent. All of this is aimed at ensuring that we have deep and liquid markets, that cost-effective clearing is delivered, and that cross-product netting solutions and other operational adjustments are made. On the industry side, we will then collaborate with them to ensure that we have the right timelines for implementing the operational improvements that would integrate clearing and custody, as well as the legal agreements that will support the several clearing regimes that will be made available. Once more, we could observe some significant updates taking place here. And the fascinating thing about the person speaking, Scott O'Malley, is that he is the ISDA's Chief Executive Officer. Why, therefore, is that significant? Because once more, we are aware that Ripple is a member of the ISDA. In fact, if I recall correctly, they joined the ISDA back in 2023. Therefore, I think it's fascinating that we're beginning to see some significant updates regarding the DTCC, the CME, and even the IC, all of which incidentally have to do with securities and derivatives. We are aware that these markets are undergoing significant upheaval. We are aware that the chain is overflowing. Everything is going digital, as we all know. This is, I believe, going to start to see a lot of momentum in terms of significant legislative and regulatory changes occurring. And if Paul Atkins is leading, I do believe that this pro-crypto position is sincere. Am I correct? What have we seen about the space over the past few months, if we're beginning to notice a significant change, which it appears we are? First off, Ripple has been taking huge action, an obvious indication that the area has altered. Second, there are a lot of excellent businesses in the market, including big exchanges and even significant stablecoin issuers. What have they been up to? They have been submitting license applications. They have also been taking significant actions. In the US, they have been gaining acceptance. Stablecoins themselves are another factor. We are aware of their current prominence. Legislation for stablecoins is beginning to take shape. The FDIC, Congress, and the OCC have been very aggressively pushing banks to embrace, use, and even provide cryptocurrency services. Once more, it appears that we are taking this change extremely seriously, and I do believe there will likely be a lot of opportunities with Paul Atkins. We have been waiting a long time to see those doors unlocked, and I believe that the key will eventually unlock them. And I do believe that some of these large markets are going to be overrun by DLT and cryptocurrency. We are discussing the market for derivatives. We are discussing the foreign exchange market. All of these major players have previously expressed their desires to us, make tokens. They wish to use DLT. They wish